Welcome back. It is The Face of Friday night. Peter Kivazo, Charles Romshana, David Pukol, and Mohammed Nsereko. And we're talking. I mean, those elements that make us ask. Honorable Nsereko, you were taking us through, and we were asking, is it possible for us to roll back the times and say, okay, government of Uganda can own and possibly sell to people along the way and keep owning others?
No, like I've been trying to explain to my fellow countrymen that these are things we've come out and spoken explicitly. Number of times we've always told you, where are the proceeds from the companies, even in which government privatized but remained with shares? UTL, National Housing Corporation, the various banks, or even its own banks like Post Bank and others, just posting losses and other things, you know, sugar corporation companies, steel rolling mills, many others, okay, where government still holds a stake. But anyway, the fact is that we've always come out to tell you that government, even with bringing in this PP, public-private partnership bill, it's trying to tell you, you know what, there are some of our members that can use proxy hands to run some businesses on your own behalf, so that we try to build a class that can rule over you for eternity, whereby this class will be a class that will own money and others will be slaves to this class. So the problem, I think, is not with these people that are trying to enrich themselves in such a manner, because it was done in several other countries. Mubarak tried to do this in Egypt. Of course, the Gaddafi family did the same. Ben Ali did the same. But it's up to you, the Ugandans, to realize whether you're human or whether this country belongs to you and you have an equal share in this country. Since inception, from 1962, Ugandans have this feeling that there is a state and there are people. And therefore, the state is more superior than the people. When the Ugandans realize that there can be no state without acceptance of the people, then Ugandans will be liberated. Today we'll be talking about the railway line, tomorrow we'll be talking about something else, because, wait a second, this is something we inherited from our colonial masters. And way down the road, since 1977, when we split up as the East African Corporation and Railways, inherited, it continued to run, like you said.
My uncle Joshua Cole, the late,
yes,
was the one was minister for East African Railways and Harbors, and then after, when the thing split, he became chairman, managing director of Uganda Railways. No. So these people came and found the railway running.
True.
How come they ate with their own teeth until no train moves?
And there is a lot, like my brother Romushana was saying. It was East Africa. In fact, Uganda inherited a lot. The land in Mombasa, houses and others, full houses in Mombasa, in Nairobi, part of the land for the harbour in Mombasa, which is entitled, whose allocation is entitled to Ugandans, just like Tanzanians and others. And part of the land in this scheme is in, I think in Tanzania, in a place called Tanga, where they are going to create another harbour. You know, but you know, when we talk about these things, the only problem we are having is that civic education to Ugandans, for Ugandans to realize that you're not in this country by mistake,
By accident.
and therefore people should not arrogate themselves over you, create and instill fear in you, in that even talking about something, some people get scared. How will I survive tomorrow? How will I live tomorrow? But even if you defer your speech to another day, you won't live much longer and in a much better life. True to that, like I'm saying, everyone is shocked, like you said. What is the interest of Kampala Capital City Authority in eviction of people from a railway line?
Well, no.
It would have
Mohammed,
been,
let me just answer.
This would
let
have
me give
been
you
the
their
generation.
information.
Listen,
Let me give you their information.
Legally, it would have been as so. Government under Uganda Railway goes to court, seeks a court order to have those people evicted. And can I tell you one thing? These people have an injunction from court stopping KCCA, because KCCA really put it out But you see, everyone who can see, when you lift the veil, it's so explicit that this is not the role of KCCA. Because if it was saying it was dangerous buildings that were condemned, how many shacks and slums are in the city? When you go to the entire Nsambya, Chikuba Muto, whatever, name it. Bwayise. Why didn't they go to Bwayise? Why they are first?
Does KCCA own that land?
That answers
No, it
doesn't. The railway reserve.
That answers the question of my brother Romushana. There is an invisible hand in this matter that is using KCCA because everyone knows that KCCA is so rough. They work with impunity. And I told the Ugandans about the issue about KCCA that, look here, Ugandans, if you have an animal that comes in a village and eats an elephant first, then what of you, the rabbits? You saw the powers of the Lord Mayor whom you elected being washed away. And none of us, or some of us, stood up. But where were you, the voters, who voted for him? He would have been your voice. Today there is no council sitting. Since when did the council resolve, whether at committee level
for this inhuman act
or in council, to have people evicted in such a manner? Just imagine how inhumane it was. 20 days for someone to move a family. It's not a joke. This is not a joke.
The only
like people take it. For someone to move a family of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, these are poor people. These are people that are earning peanuts. And you're telling them government cannot compensate. But if Romushana needs his land, he must compensate you first. But if it's we will condemn you, that you're staying in shacks, the way you're living is hazardous to society and environment, and therefore you have to leave that land by all costs. To me,
okay,
this
someone
is
asks
huge.
you. Someone asks you. Benon Fred to Inamasiko, he says, does Muhammad Nsereko believe that we need railway transport in Kampala? Does he realize that it actually reduces traffic and it is helpful to these people? Yes.
Can I respond to Benon? Benon, this railway line transported supporters of football in 2011 to a football match. Want these people along the railway line?
But let's also
what happened? The line has been functional. Mukwano is moving his goods the other day. Don't get me wrong on this matter. There is something that is beneath what is happening. None of us says that better transport system must not be there. Let me tell you what happened. They started with a proposal of mass transport through use of buses.
Yes.
Okay. Where are they? And what happened?
They are in Nambole.
What happened to the railway line they are talking about? The railway line was functional. It's they themselves that are trying to say that they want to put a railway line to be functional. And this line, if they are talking about the railway line to move people from Kampala to Mukono, like they are saying, and Kampala to Akiso, I would like to tell you, this is not the reality. They are trying to put that as the face of it, so that you, through PR, you accept this. But they are talking about Pakwachi, like he said, for mass transport of crude oil and other things. Rightly so, it's not a problem. This has been devolved by the Northern Corridor partners, Rwanda, Kenya.
Okay,
let me give you this.
I have callers
Rwanda,
on the line.
Kenya.
You're please free to call into the show. Hello? Hello? Okay, we seem to have lost you. The numbers are displayed. Please just talk to us.
So none of us is opposed to development, but development should be seen, not only be seen, should also move in tandem with development of the people. You don't just bring development at the cost of human settlement.
The problem I have is that at colonial time, the railway line was only going to KCCA. Our papas, our mamas who took over at independence extended it to Pakwach. It was not there during the colonial time.
Yes.
They worked for Uganda. Now, they also built commercial banks. They also built Uganda Airlines. They didn't steal. They created assets. But this group came, and for them just eat and take everything. Like I told you, how do you eat a railway line with even until no train moves? Except this one which knocks cars just once in a while. This one.
You see, if why this thing is a fair.
So For me, the fundamental question is, do these people in leadership today
Let me ask you,
deserve to
David.
be trusted anymore
Pause there,
and
David.
entrusted with
David,
the responsibility
David, Mohammed,
of taking
and,
us forward?
Charles, the
Or they're
question
just
is,
a batch of selfish
does
individuals?
the public-private partnership solve this mire? If David Pukol invests in the railway, does it, so you have a 50-50 ownership between the private and the public, does it solve the problem?
I'll give you a straight answer. I'll give you a straight answer. The answer is no. Anything can solve that, can solve this. The issue is the will, like he has said. The issue is the will and the honesty of those that are meant to run it. Like he said, who is behind this? Who is behind this?
They want to steer, but which are extremely very difficult to transfer. Like I will give you a case in point which I'm aware of, the schools which belong to Kampala City Council.
The land.
The schools, because they have prime land, it's prime land. Like if we school like Buganda Road, primary school, its location, because if you have seen how the schools are bringing dividends. Take that under public-private partnership. This land which has been taken over by Sudir near Murago, you know, it's contentious.
From CMI.
It was not even initiated by those CMI's land.
It was actually Kitante quarters which belonged to Murago Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, so it belonged to Murago Hospital. But now how does someone take it? So you bring
It was allocated to him by government of Uganda.
You know, of course, all that is, who has that power to do that? Because you see, the land doesn't belong to Uganda Land Commission. The Uganda Land Commission is more or less like a regulatory authority. The land belongs to Murago Hospital, and does even Murago Hospital have powers to give it to you? So you have a cover, take it. There is no way you, Peter Chavazo, would own a road. Do you know the impact of Entebbe Road when it is expanded? How many vehicles go through it? So if you now steal from because like I was giving
in the name of private-public partnership.
That is not stealing. I've invested my money.
No,
Currently, you have the Chinese investing.
else.
Just hold on. You have the Chinese that are giving you a loan and are investing money in the
Why not
Entebbe
Germany?
Express hour.
You've
Why not
guaranteed.
Germans?
You've guaranteed.
Our
it.
loan is-
Why do you go to China? Why not Germans?
Why does our
Why
parliament
not
guarantee?
Why not the French? When you hear things
So-
go China, you know the
On whose interest is parliament legislating?
UCB.
You and I.
No.
When UCB
And
was,
let me tell you,
when you see
why do you
was-
They are
guarantee?
rented MPs.
Yes, when UCB.
when UCB
They
was
become
sold,
rented.
surprised. When UCB was sold, I had an opportunity to study, to investigate this and study it. We had bonds.
Yes.
With the Bank of Uganda that were yet to mature. I tell you, Uganda may even never know how much money that was. Because buying UCB was buying cash. It already had money. Now, how can you buy money with less money? You see, the UCB has 100 million, and for you pay for 40 million shillings, and you take it.
I'll give you the economic argument that I was given by the then PS at the time. He said he would give away UCB at the time at zero cost because of this. UCB was a loss-making venture. But if you gave it away, the amount of money Uganda would make on taxing the business of whoever would take over would never have been made by UCB.
During my vacation of A-level, I taught in Rushere. I was staying in Rushere. And I know of an old man, probably I don't need to bring his name, he was given a Tata Role. You know that time they were giving them Tata Roles, they were giving them tractors and singeng, barbed wire for their farms. This old man was using his Tata Role as a maika. Whenever you want to go and visit, brand new, you would sit in it. When they told him to pay for it with the cow, he said, you can take back your Role. But the Role was functionally doing his private taxi. He would sit in it with his driver and some relative as not an, but not carrying.
Liantonde Rushere Road.
Private.
So what are you saying?
So that UCB didn't make losses. UCB was rooted. It was absolute rooting.
Charles, I still ask, if these guys are looters, if these guys are bad managers, why do you still want to trust them with public institutions? These companies.
Let me explain. Let me explain. They come so in a very humble way, in a very looking innocent, like we are here only for 4 years. It's like a pastoralist coming to beg you, the crop farmer, to employ me to look after your cows. Even if you don't have money, you pay me with only milk. So at the end of the day, by the time he leaves, he has got 3 herds bigger than yours.
They came in by guns.
Some of them. This one, of course, they told you they're only here for 4 years.
No, but they came by guns.
Even if they came by guns, they deceived us. Then they made all of us NRM, kindly by force.
Then you are very gullible as a people.
Legal notice number 1.
yeah,
Before you know, they made us extend their rule, including, it's only Ziritoula who saw it ahead. Okay? The rest of us were told the Odoki Commission has not yet finished the constitution. There's no constitution. They told us many things. But the point I'm making...
The problem has been the stomach. The stomach overrules the
No. The point I'm making here is that these people have been so clever.
David, I want fixes.
Duping.
David, I want fixes. Where are the fixes for the problem?
For the problem. Change the... entrust the leadership of this country to another team who believe leadership, who are not predatory. Those who believe in stewardship.
David, you think
the
that
common
the
good
solution is in changing leadership?
Completely.
This Charles, is that a possibility?
Absolutely.
Is that a possibility? Because, I mean, in
For how
2
long
years
are we
from
going
now,
to-
you're going to the ballot.
Let me come.
You're going to the ballot.
There was land at the Naguru. This is Naguru. This is
Yeah,
Naguru.
a housing estate.
Housing estate.
It was mowed down.
The
Goropas.
people, and it's now rats that are resident there. Yes. Sometimes it's mixed with malice.
Yeah, I mean,
the disease of theft.
Even former railway quarters.
Yeah, the disease of theft is incurable. I mean, it's like a virus. You even if you change the border, as long as there are some elements you are allowed to transit, they will go with it. That's basically the problem. So it's going to take very many years to change this kind of mindset. Even if you allowed your kid the next day, it will also be influenced to steal. But their capacity is the problem. In some areas where they have developed, they steal and reinvest. These fellows don't have capacity. Like they go through. So the best method is not to alert them where there is value. They were alerted there is money in this pensions thing.
Pension scheme.
This
NSSF?
NSSF. As soon as they were alerted, you know how many times it has changed. Now it is in the hands of Agaba. You now need to go and check who is Agaba. So by the time we wake up, the thing will be empty. So don't alert them where there is money. You alert them there is money in Puta, Lake Victoria will be dry.
This
you alert, now they spray hard, they don't get to know there is value.
Whatever it was in that bush.
So it's a problem that surely
You are not giving me a solution.
the rosary. I want to tell you the rosary. If I want this program tomorrow and you shouldn't have the Serumaga scenario, then say the rosary. And it works.
Mohammed, I need solutions.
The solution
because
is,
you've been in the political
need to strike a balance.
The solution is my brother, and we've talked about this. We, the generation that still thinks that we have more years to go, and we still think our children and our grandchildren deserve a better livelihood socially. Brilliant infrastructure, brilliant hospitals, public hospitals, brilliant universities, brilliant...
Did you say brilliant or agreeable?
You see,
I'm talking about brilliant, not agreeable.
real infrastructure.
The problem with we Africans is settling for nothing. I'm in a wonderful studio here. Isn't it in Uganda?
Yeah.
Isn't it owned by a Ugandan? What is impossible by a government of Uganda owning the same studios?
Yeah.
So there is just a problem. Like he said,
You know the problem with transport
their homes, marble.
Oh boy.
Public offices, funny chairs, cockroaches running around. No elevators and nothing.
With cobwebs.
Therefore, I'm trying to talk to Ugandans. Please, go out and register. Register in large numbers.
Particularly young people.
Particularly young people. I've been meeting many young people and they were telling me they have never voted. It doesn't matter. Please, Romushana. It has been a ploy by those people to try to tell people they can't live by the ballot. I'm so sure we can use non-violent means to kick out this madness from this country.
No, listen, Chief.
We have to go.
Finally,
Yes, David.
finally. The solution is that our government, or whoever wants to take over leadership, should come to have a balance between government owning certain critical infrastructure and others owned by individuals. Secondly, our citizens, particularly young people, you see, the future is not inherited from our forefathers.
It's built by
Okay,
ourselves.
it's borrowed from our children, because now our debt is so high that, and yet it is in 30, 40 years' time that will be paid. And we will not be there to pay that debt. The Musevenis will not be there to pay this debt. All these eaters will not be there. Now, it means our children in 30, 40 years will be the one to pay for all this mess. So like Karimojong children begging on the street. Okay? So yet elsewhere in the world, it is parents who work for their children. But this government is making our children work for us. And therefore, they must be thrown out.
And
a new team.
You see the throwing out,
which believes
David,
in the country.
Is the population mobilized enough to respond to your call?
I'm asking, are these people Ugandans?
Yeah,
but that's what we are trying to do.
I have been
Are they Ugandans really? How can you run down your country like this?
Yes, Charles, finally.
I have been involved in mass mobilization. I have won elections on...
And lost elections?
That election was... that's the point. Because I've told you in every parish of mine, Sudi landed there with a helicopter.
I have said to you before, I don't believe
my
that.
phones were taken, the car was arrested.
I don't believe that.
You don't need to believe it.
Kanchiri was dead.
Must have been a toddler somewhere. But the population now is spiritually paralyzed. It's having a broken spirit.
Needs a revive.
Yes. If like in my press,
you're going back to prayer.
Listen. In my press, they correct people of HIV, very sick, whom you supplied with fake condoms. The drugs you are going to give them are fake, and you know it. And you tell them, I have brought you drugs, they crap. And so if it is going to be voting, they will be looking at a person who gave them, you can't tell them someone gave you fake condoms.
Mosquito nets.
Yes, they can't see it. You know, so the population is spiritually paralyzed.
Therefore,
they ask you is beer to drink. When they are even sick, when they don't even have...
Charles, I need to hear the therefore.
So you are talking about raising consciousness, but it can't be the consciousness of the peasant, because the peasant is broken. Now, you have to raise the consciousness of the elites. And the elites, they are thinking about comfort, they are thinking about...
Nando's, Mr. Nice.
They are thinking about money. So therefore they are partners in the stealing.
ShopRite.
So it must be a revolution, but it must be a very cultured revolution. That's why I was saying that I still need this program. If you have to go into it, we won't have another program the next day.
Well, viewers, I have to go out of here.
Hallelujah.
I have to go out of here. Yeah. I also strongly believe that with a very civically aware population, people can stop thieving. People can stop doing all these manner of things, and people can ask questions about their country. What we need is civic awareness. It doesn't matter which government. I could have Nsereko as a president. If the population is not civically aware, he will still suffer from the same malady. Good night.